Hey ARMY! Welcome back to our channel. If you think V and Jimin's friendship is just chemistry in front of cameras, you're absolutely wrong. Today's video will prove that the 95Z bond is real and deeper than you could ever imagine. So make sure you have your tissues ready, because the story we're discussing today will literally make you cry. And don't forget to smash that like button if you're ready for an emotional roller coaster with V and Jimin. ARMY, have you ever seen someone you love almost have a complete breakdown? Well, that's what happened to V behind the scenes of the BTS World Tour. And what Jimin did in that moment. Oh my god, ARMY, this isn't just friendship goals. This is solid proof that they are true soulmates. But before we dive into this heart-wrenching story, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and bell notification right now. Because this channel always updates you with the latest and most emotional BTS content. Okay ARMY, let me set the scene first. This happened during the recent BTS World Tour, and you know this tour was completely different from the previous ones, right? The pressure was insane. International media, worldwide ARMY expectations, plus an absolutely packed schedule. Just imagine the stress level of BTS members, especially V. If you pay close attention to the footage from that tour, there was something different about V. Usually, he's always energetic, always creating chaos, always laughing freely. But during this tour, his smile seemed forced. His eyes looked empty in several moments. And most obviously, he became much quieter. Jimin, as his best friend since high school, was definitely the first to notice this change. You know how sensitive Jimin is toward people he cares about, right? Especially when it comes to V, his best friend and soulmate. What made the situation even heavier was that V was dealing with some personal issues that he couldn't share with the public. Guys, imagine carrying that kind of mental burden when you're still young, under an international spotlight that never stops shining on you. The critical moment happened right after a concert in one of the major cities. All members were already exhausted, but they had to immediately prepare for their flight to the next city. And this is where ARMY, V started showing alarming signs. He sat alone in the corner of the waiting room, literally staring into space. Staff were busy. Other members were also busy preparing, but Jimin immediately noticed something was wrong. This is what we call best friend instinct, ARMY. Jimin tried to approach V naturally, sitting beside him, making light conversation. But V only gave minimal responses. He even seemed to be forcing himself to appear okay. And Jimin could feel there was an invisible wall that V had built around himself. ARMY, what made Jimin even more worried was when he noticed V's hands were slightly shaking. Not because of a cold, but because of anxiety and mental exhaustion that had reached its limit. V tried to hide it by putting his hands in his jacket pockets, but Jimin knew him too well not to notice such a small detail. And the breaking point, when the manager announced that their flight would be delayed for 2 hours due to technical issues. This news should have been no big deal, but for V, who was already in a fragile mental state, this was the last straw. V suddenly stood up from his chair with an aggressive movement, walking quickly toward the restroom with clenched fists. And ARMY, without thinking twice, Jimin immediately followed him. He told the other members that he would check on V, and swiftly followed his best friend who was clearly distressed. When Jimin entered the restroom, he found V standing in front of the mirror with both hands gripping the sink, his body slightly trembling, and breathing irregularly. V was trying so hard to hold back his emotions, but when he saw Jimin's reflection in the mirror, his last defense crumbled. The tears he had been holding back for days finally poured out. He wasn't crying loudly, but the sobs coming from his mouth sounded so painful, like the sound of someone who had been holding pain for too long. And this is the most emotional moment, ARMY. Jimin, without saying a single word, immediately hugged V from behind. Not just any hug, but an incredibly tight embrace, as if Jimin wanted to transfer all his strength to his best friend. Jimin rested his head on V's shoulder, and with the gentlest voice, he whispered words that made V completely break down. "It's okay, Taeyang. You don't have to be strong all the time. I'm here." ARMY, simple words but spoken with complete sincerity and love, immediately broke down all the walls V had built. V finally let it all out, all the frustration, anxiety, and exhaustion he had been suppressing for so long. What made this moment even more touching was Jimin's response. He didn't ask what was wrong, didn't try to give advice, didn't try to fix the situation with words. He just stayed there, providing the physical and emotional support that V needed. Jimin gently rubbed V's back, occasionally giving light kisses on his best friend's shoulder, providing wordless affirmation that he wasn't alone. After several minutes, when V's crying started to subside, Jimin gently turned V's body to face him. With the most gentle hands, Jimin wiped away the tears from V's cheeks, giving him a smile full of warmth and understanding. And ARMY, what Jimin did next was so unexpected but incredibly touching. He took out hand sanitizer from his bag, poured it onto V's hands, and very carefully cleaned his best friend's face with tissues. Such a small gesture, but for V, this was the most intimate and caring act. "You're going to be okay," Jimin said with a voice full of conviction. "We're going to get through this together, like we always do." The most amazing thing about all this was how Jimin handled the situation when they had to return to the group. He didn't let V face the other members alone. Jimin gave his hoodie jacket to V so he could cover his swollen eyes, and very naturally diverted the other members' attention by starting random light conversations. During the flight, Jimin continued providing subtle support to V. He made sure V sat in the window seat for more privacy, gave him his own neck pillow so V could sleep comfortably, and even declined the flight attendant's meal offer because he knew V wouldn't want to eat in that condition. The most heartwarming part? When V finally fell asleep on the plane, Jimin didn't sleep at all. He kept watching over his best friend, making sure V's blanket didn't slip off, and even asked the flight attendant to dim the lights in their area so V could rest peacefully. ARMY, moments like this show that V and Jimin's friendship isn't just chemistry in front of cameras or fan service. This is a genuine bond between two people who truly care for each other. Jimin didn't try to be a hero or seek attention. He just became the friend that V needed in his darkest moment. When they arrived at their destination city, V looked so much better. He gave Jimin the tightest hug before getting off the plane, and with a voice that was still a bit hoarse, he said, "Thank you for saving me, Jimina." And Jimin just smiled and replied, "That's what soulmates do, right?" And that moment, ARMY, is solid proof that Jimin and V's friendship is one of the most beautiful things we've ever witnessed. They don't just share happiness, but also the strength to get through the darkest times. This is why the 95Z bond will always be legendary in the eyes of ARMY worldwide. Their friendship teaches us about unconditional love, emotional intelligence, and the power of being truly present for someone you care about. If you are also moved by this story, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for more emotional BTS content, and comment below about which Vmin moment makes you the most emotional. Also, let us know in the comments if you have a friendship like this in your life, or if this story inspired you to be a better friend to someone you love. See you in the next video, ARMY. Borahi.